Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of First Touch with your hosts, Oscar Avalar.
And Bikar Michael.
Well, without further ado, let's get right into it. Today, I'm going to recap El Clasico and how Barcelona and Madrid have coped after that match. Real Madrid have won the game 3-1. It was an exciting game, back-to-back. We haven't seen a game like this in a while without, the classic rivalry between Messi and Ronaldo highlighting it. The game started out with a bang. Valverde scores in the 5th minute of the game, giving Madrid the lead, but Ansu Fati replied back almost instantly in the 8th minute, and we could tell we had a game on our hands. Barcelona dropped back more than they often do. This could be due to Koeman's style, but it definitely wasn't something we're used to, of that possession-based Barcelona that likes to press and play with the ball. Possession is their game, but with Koeman it seems different. It's definitely not the Barca style. They traded blows back and forth, questionable yellow card on Casemiro for a foul that wasn't called until way later, and a non-call, again, Casemiro on Messi inside the box, and that was not given a penalty because he got the ball. Nacho was carded and injured, was subbed out by Zidane due to the injury, and put on Lucas Vázquez to replace him. Vázquez, of course, the right winger who doesn't really play right back unless he's needed to, and in this case, well, he's the 4th string right back at this moment, so he was needed, and it looks like he's going to be the starter for a bit until either Carvajal or Odriozola come back. Asensio was really quiet in the first half, not really having a spark and being really quiet on that right side. Ansu Fati played more of a striker role. It looked like they were giving him that more attacking option. Messi dropping back to the center attacking mid position, something we've seen him do a lot last season. And it looks like he's going to be more of that type of player that assists and makes plays. Of course, he's already been doing that, but it looks like that's his position now. It wasn't until the 63rd minute that a controversial penalty call separated the two, when Ramos slotted one in past Neto. Now, the call was Lenglet pulling on Ramos's jersey, causing Ramos to fall. Of course, it was a little bit exaggerated, but it was a call nonetheless. The referee checked the VAR, the video assistant referee. They told the referees looking at it, let him know. Ramos started it, but of course the foul was on Lenglet. And so they awarded the penalty, and again, Ramos converted. Barca looked desperate for a goal as the game went on. They even subbed in 4 attacking players. It looked like they were playing a lopsided formation with only like 2 or 3 defenders, 2 or 3 midfielders, and everyone else just attacking. For Madrid, Luka Modric and Eden Hazard, you got to give credit to them. As soon as Zidane put them on, it sparked the change in their game and their style. They've been lauded for their efforts, and again, even Lucas Vázquez, the guy had himself a game. The 4th string right back, and he's killing it. Becker, I know you saw those moves by him, shades of Ronaldo going down the wing. Modric, of course, scored in the 90th minute, making Barca keeper Neto dance left to right and then shooting it past 2 defenders into the goal. That was the encapsulation of the game after Modric and Hazard went on, basically. Madrid was in control after the goals, and Barca just looked flustered, desperate for a goal, and they didn't find it. Madrid now sits 2nd in the league, with a game in hand below Real Sociedad. So it's going to be interesting there how that plays out. They have momentum. However, that wasn't the case in the Champions League, obviously. They were losing 2-0 to Borussia Mönchengladbach and somehow, some way, drew 2-2. Goals by Benzema and Casemiro. They have a point in their group now, which doesn't look that great. I know there were jokes around halftime and after the second goal that Madrid might end up playing in the Europa League. Because honestly, I thought so too. They're not playing well, and somehow they drew. So they're alive. There's that. Barca, on the other hand, after that call, there was a lot of frustration from the club. The president and the coach tweeted out and reached out to Spanish officials looking for answers, complaining, and basically saying that VAR has been favoring their direct rivals over and over again, and this needs to be looked at. But this might be the future of the sport. I mean, VAR it might be here to stay, and we can only hope for improvements. I know I'm not proud of winning by a goal like that, but I'm not going to complain. The win's a win. After that, some good news for Barca. All right. Club president Josep Bartomeu has resigned. I know Bicker, I know Barca fans hated him. His handling of the club, messy, the transfers, I'm sure every Barca fan's in glee that they've rid of him. Other good news for Barca, they defeated Juve 2-0, so there's something to look forward to, a win, and we'll see how that factors in to their league campaign. Bicker, I know you're covering a team that's performing like the opposite of Madrid in tournaments. Care to tell me more?
Yeah, definitely. So, Manchester United. Good old Manchester United, always the roller coaster rides, topsy-turvy, going up and down. So this past weekend, they played against rivals Chelsea. I don't know if it's much of a rivalry anymore, but it's still a rivalry. So Chelsea set up with a 5-back, but they actually offered more going forward in the first 25 to 30 minutes. To be fair, it was very stale and quiet. United offered very little threat. And it was funny because Mendy, the goalkeeper that was bought from Rennes to replace Kepa Arrizabalaga, he almost passed the ball into his own net, which was a very comical moment. But he had himself a great game. In the first half, Chelsea looked more dangerous as the half went on, and Christian Pulisic, he was at the heart of some decent chances. And in the 35th minute, Rashford should have scored. He had a great opportunity. One-on-one versus Mendy. Mendy pulled out a great save with his feet. And then United got away with a huge non-penalty call. Maguire got away with a WWE move. It's basically like a chokehold. Yeah, he did. I'm not gonna lie. The defender who we choked was Cesar Azpilicueta, Chelsea's captain. He protested, but referee Mark Atkinson said no. VAR said no. And so at the half, it was 0-0. Mendy, obviously the star man for Chelsea, and Mata was probably the only true spark. I know Bruno Fernandes tried to pull something out of his magic hat, but to no avail. And then the first half was very different from the 4-0 game of last season, the season opener, where United went all-out attack in the second half, got Chelsea on the counter, and it just looked like this match both sides looked set up to secure a clean sheet. And that was the MO. And so second half, Ole made some changes. He introduced Pogba and Cavani, took out Mata and Dan James, who had the most ineffective game ever, probably. And then Cavani actually almost scored with his first touch, so that would have been something. And people talk about Ole's in-game tactics, how he needs to improve on that. And so that kind of showed in this game because Bruno shifted to the right, and then Rashford went to the left and Cavani up top. But Bruno was also floating around the midfield. And so I guess Ole was trying something in the second half. United dominated the second portion of the match. And Kai Havertz for Chelsea should have had the ball in the 60th minute, had a great chance. Great ball by Reece James, who himself had a very great game shutting down Marcus Rashford. But he didn't. And the game was basically set up like a chess match where one opportunity is all it took to make the difference. And Chelsea looked like a threat in the last 10 minutes, causing multiple corners. And that one chance that either team needed came in what was the 88th, 89th minute when Rashford had a great shot that was saved tremendously by Mendy, who, in my opinion, was the man of the match. And so the match ended 0-0, stale match, but credit to Chelsea's backline, who absorbed all the pressure United threw at them. the best players of the game were defenders. For United, it was Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, and then for Chelsea, it was both Mendy and Thiago Silva. And it was a great game to watch if you're a defensive purist, but obviously there's not many of us out there, and it's a better result for Chelsea, who now have 2 clean sheets on the bounce in all competitions. And that's obviously before today's 3-0 win over Krasnodar. So that's 3 clean sheets on the bounce. But yeah, like you mentioned earlier, United are still winless at home in the Prem. And there were questions that I had after this game that were actually answered earlier today when they defeated RB Leipzig 5-0 at Old Trafford. And so the first question was no sign of Telles and Van der Beek, both big money signings and only featured a limited amount of times. Telles, they're saying that he picked up a knock. I believe Ole said that in a press conference, but is it a media-trained answer? Is there more going on? We're going to wait and see. And Van der Beek, he started today. A lot of United fans wanted him in the mix because when he plays well, United play well. And he's very effective. And so it was good to see him in there. And then also Pogba, is he really effective from the bench? He came against Newcastle and the last game against Chelsea. And the team looked better when he was in the mix. And so United also looked stable on the ball with him as well. And he started today against Leipzig, was very, very effective. Credit to him, credit to Fred as well. Fred had a tremendous game. And the golden boy, Marcus Rashford, MBE, had himself a hat-trick. And so as long as Ole figures out his best starting lineup, which is very, very tough, seeing that he has a lot of depth at his hands, United it should be convincing, but at the same time, you don't want to get too excited because you want to see that same form as the Champions League and the Premier League. And yeah, I mean, my last question was, would it have been a different game if fans were involved? Ole mentioned the Stedford end. Had it been bouncing, they probably would have won the game. But I just think it's just another media trained excuse. United did well today with no fans, and as seen in the past year or so under Ole, they play very well on the transition, on the counterattacks. And so if Ole can keep setting up like that and making sure that the back line is secured, because they leaked 6 goals against Spurs, but they did pretty well these past couple of games and they're building momentum, kind of like the same way Chelsea are doing. And so it's just figuring out your best players, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities to rest them and bring them on because there's games coming in thick and fast. And so let's see if Ole stick with or United stick with Ole. That's been the main question for so long now. And so Oscar, as we always do in the end, I have a trivia segment for you.
Bring it on.
All right, let's see if you get this one. To be fair, we're both 1-0, and this is the third one, so hopefully this will be a tiebreaker for me, but let's get to it. So first question, I am a Champions League winner who also won the last Copa America.
Okay, Champions League winner that won the last Copa America. I mean, there's a couple.
Neymar, okay. The first one is always vague, so I'll move on to the second one. So Champions League winner who also won the last Copa America. And past teammates include Bruno Neves, Hector Herrera, and James Rodriguez.
So it's got to be a Porto player.
You need another hint, or you want to take a crack at it?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me that next one.
Okay, so you figured it out. It is a Porto player, and so the last one should be pretty simple. I scored against Manchester United in the 2017 UEFA Super Cup.
Oh my God! It's Casemiro. I love that man.
I was hoping you wouldn't get it, but I think the last one gave it away since you figured out that it was a Porto player. So, yeah, kudos to you. I guess now you're 2-1. You have the bragging rights.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for this episode of First Touch. Thank you again for watching. We hope to have you in the next one. Go ahead and follow us below. This has been First Touch with Oscar and Bikar. Thanks for joining us. Until next time.